Well, it's been a warm and muggy day here in eastern Iowa, but the Iowa Woo looking to capture some of that heat tonight as they host the Ozarks Lunkers. Arena League football is next.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 play. 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 Who don't play, play, play.
And a pleasant good evening from Waterloo, Iowa tonight. Welcome to Arena League action as the Iowa Woo take on the Ozarks Lunkers here, week 4 of Arena League action. I'm Joel Waters reporting from inside. Look to snap a 3-game skid to start the 2024 inaugural season, taking on the Ozarks Lunkers, who sit at 1-1 coming in to the 4th week of action. We'll be joined here momentarily by my color commentator, Andy Sy, who ironically enough is going to be singing the national anthem here tonight at the Hippodrome. So a multi-talented individual going to be joining us from the broadcast booth. As we mentioned, Iowa coming in with an 0-3 record back after a loss at Kansas City against the Goats last week down in western Missouri, 58-38. Iowa lost its regular season opener back on the beginning of the month, also ironically here at home to Ozarks 69-40, but they've been playing better as of late, looking to finally put the missing pieces together and get that elusive first win of the year as the members of the Woo are introduced to the Woo faithful here inside the Hippodrome. As we mentioned, it is a little bit of a hot and humid day. We had some rain here in eastern Iowa, some flooding in the northern states and Minnesota and on its way down, but a good crowd here in Waterloo tonight to take in some action. Second home game of the regular season, 4th game of the regular season altogether. Taking a look briefly at tonight's opponents, and the Ozarks Lunkers sitting at 1-1. Last week they came off a narrow 44-38 home loss to the Duluth Harbor Monsters down in Springfield. As the night goes along, we'll share some numbers from that 5-point loss to Duluth. As the assistant coaches now being announced, assistant coach Frank Costin taking the field, which can only mean the man of the hour, head coach Mook Hollywood Zimmerman, just about to take the field here shortly. Had some technical difficulties, lights back on as the grand entrance of Coach Zimmerman imminent. We should mention, in addition to tonight being the second home game of the regular season, it is also the season debut. The mascot, Wacky, a giant wolf with a cowboy hat and sunglasses, Hawaiian shirt. fair to say he's got some positive vibes in this crowd. As here comes Coach Zimmerman in the tunnel. With the crowd cheering him on, Moog, as he takes the field and joins his team. Not only the debut of the mascot here at an Iowa Woo home game, but it will also be the debut of a couple new players for the Woo. We'll introduce a couple of those as we approach the start of tonight's game. But first things first, the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem. Very healthy crowd here tonight inside the Hippodrome. I'd say about 2,000 fans inside the former hockey arena, which has been open for almost a century and now serves as a key venue on the National Cattle Congress grounds in Waterloo. And now the national anthem performed by Andy Sy. Andy Sy with a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. So we're just about ready to get this one started here tonight between the Woo and the Lunkers. Spoke with the Woo coaching staff just before tonight's game, and a couple keys to a victory tonight. They want to see some better quarterback play. It's been a bit up and down through the first 3 weeks of the season, and they really want to nail that down tonight. We're going to see the debut of a new quarterback for Iowa, and Kobe Martin, a York, Pennsylvania native and alum of Miscordia University in Dallas, Pennsylvania. So that's an offensive key. On defense, it's getting off the field early. The Woo have struggled with a number of drives where they haven't been able to basically get the opponent off the field. They've let long drives of multiple plays drag on, leading on to scoring plays. So getting off the field quickly is going to be a defensive key for the Woo tonight. That being said, I am thrilled to be joined by my broadcast partner, Andy Sy, fresh off doing the national anthem. That was beautiful, by the way, buddy. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Excited to make my color commentary debut tonight. Having the honor to do it with you and be here for the Iowa Woo. So.
Well, fantastic. As we have the coin toss here at midfield. As Mark Woodley, sports anchor here in Waterloo, does the honors. So we await the results of the coin toss. And it appears that the Woo will receive the opening throw-off. We'll go through the rules here momentarily as a refresher for those who are maybe new to arena football, especially for you, Andy. This is a new experience for you.
This is, yes. So I'm excited to be here and learn along with everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. So just for you newcomers, as a refresher for some of these rules, this isn't your typical 11-on-11 football. 6-on-6 on a 50-yard long field, 85 feet wide field enclosed by padded walls. Couple things on how each side lines up. Offense is free to line up really in any way they want in a guard, center guard format. The only restrictions on who can catch the ball is that whoever's lined up in the quarterback position, they cannot run the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Gotcha.
So you won't see a quarterback taking a keeper up the middle for 10, unfortunately. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, you're free to line up however you like, as we're going to get the opening throw-off by Jalen Jones. No kicking here in the Arena League, of course, as Marcus Pierce is going to catch it. Drops it, he's going to fumble it around the 5, and it's going to be recovered by Pierce inside his own 5-yard line. Couldn't quite cleanly pick that up, and Iowa's going to go to work inside their own 5-yard line, first down.
Yeah, I mean, the speed of the game here is going to be really interesting to see how that affects some of the timing on these plays here going into this first drive and see if we can get off to a hot start.
Speaking of timing, just a 25-second play clock, so this is going to be a fast-paced sort of game. So we're going to see Dominic Hobdy of Pueblo, Colorado. He's going to take the first snap at quarterback. Picks up about 5, a little bit short of the chains. We were expecting to see Kobe Martin initially, but it's going to be Dominic Hobdy taking the first snaps at quarterback with Marcus Pierce here in the backfield on 2nd and about 6.
It'll be interesting to see how some of these lineup changes will affect the Woo going down the stretch here.
Hand off to Pierce, and it's going to be looks like a little bit short. Correction, I don't think he actually got anything. 2 Lunker defenders just stuffed him down into the turf for no gain, 3rd and 6. Receivers in motion. Hobdy runs to his right and is going to be taken down for a loss. Back inside the 5, around the 4.
Loses a shoe on the play.
He does. His right shoe came off. And so now 4th down here for the Woo, and they actually have 2 options here. They can either go for it and risk turning the ball over on downs, or what they're going to do here, because there is no punting in the Arena League, they can surrender the ball at the opposing 5-yard line, which is what the Woo are going to do.
Play a little field position game there, flip the field on the Lunkers and see if they can do what the Lunkers did to them and pin them deep in their own territory here.
Exactly. Well, as we mentioned in our opening, the Lunkers won 69-40 in this building back week 1 in the beginning of June, the inaugural game in the regular season. Iowa trying to keep that number well below anything that they can get.
Trying to get a little bit of a revenge game going here, try and get back get in the win column.
Actually, correction, that game was down in Springfield. My bad. Snap taken to the quarterback, Marquise Smalls. Hands it off to Matt Rush, and he's going to be taken down. I think we might have a safety, or just short of it. That was a great defensive play by Iowa.
There again, that speed of the game, pursuit.
We're going to get a look at the replays here. He's going to come down just short of the goal line, but a great defensive play.
Way to get off that block and just be relentless in the pursuit of the quarterback there.
That was Elijah Pugh making his Woo debut here tonight. The Mobile, Alabama native with a great first defensive stop. Snap taken to Smalls. He's going to throw across the body, incomplete. Always dangerous to throw across your body and across the field.
Especially late in the play like that. It's always a big risk for a turnover there.
3rd and long coming up as the clock continues to tick just below 11.5 minutes. First quarter, no score in week 4 of the Arena League. This is the only game going on in the league here tonight, as Duluth and Kansas City will be in action tomorrow night. a game you can see right here on the Arena League Network on YouTube. 3rd and long. Smalls looks, scrambles to his right. And it's going to be caught by the big man, Eli Telser.
Who fumbled the ball.
Oh, fumble, loose ball.
Woo say they have it.
They're going to rule the ball was down, but the Iowa Woo are going to recover. It's a turnover. And we'll get a replay of that here. Almost got pinned up against the back wall, but a great catch by the big man, Tyser. And he lost it at about the Iowa 25.
Squirts all the way down to the 10 before it's recovered by the Woo. That's a huge momentum play. See if we can turn that into some points here.
So Iowa will take over at their own 15-yard line. Again, working on a 50-yard field. Oscar Scott, the former long snapper, as the center here for Iowa. As now we're going to see Kobe Martin in his Woo debut. Scrambles to his left, lofts it to his left, incomplete.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. It didn't look like the receiver had his head turned around looking for the ball just quite yet.
Yeah, Scott wasn't quite ready for that one. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. 9:47 to go, first quarter, no score. Something interesting that you notice here about arena football too is the assistant coaches are in the backfield, obviously out of
out of the way of the action, but they are on the field of play. It's an interesting look here.
Martin's going to roll, move to his left, avoids a tackler, but he is going to get taken down at the 5. His jersey was getting tugged a little bit there by Jackson Mitchell, the linebacker, but it'll be a loss, and it'll bring up 3rd and long for Iowa.
Kind of puts us in a tough position, backs against the wall here deep in our own territory. See if we can get a big play. Kind of turn the tide a little bit.
Yeah, I remember last week's game in Kansas City, Iowa's first play from scrimmage. It was a long touchdown pass on their first attempt, and they got on the board quickly. Ultimately came up short in their 58-38 loss to the Goats. And before the snap, we're going to get a flag. And assistant coach Frank Costin not happy with that one.
Looks like we had just a little bit of a communication issue there going on. Couldn't quite get the play in time.
So it'll back Iowa up halfway the distance to the goal at about the 2.5-yard line. Make 3rd and long, even 3rd and longer. And plus with the padded walls behind you, makes it even more difficult, less room to work with. Martin rolling to his left. Surveys, throws
back across the field.
Nice reception by Kyler Henson, also making his Arena League debut tonight with Iowa. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but going to be short. Brings up 4th and 10. And Iowa is going to opt for the surrendering of the ball option at the opposing 5 again for the 2nd straight drive.
Yep, I think it's smart to just continue to play that field position game and see if the defense can come up with another big play here on their 2nd drive.
Something else to note here, with just under 7.5 minutes to go, first quarter, still no score between the Lunkers and the Woo. Running clock. Accelerates the game, keeps it moving.
I know we talked a lot about the speed of the game on the field, but I mean the speed of the game too, just in time in general is gonna be interesting to see how that affects the play here.
2nd offensive series for the Lunkers. As the handoff goes to Bertelsmeyer, goes hard into the near side wall.
About 4 yards there on that play.
Marquise Smalls, the quarterback for Ozarks, had a nice week last week against Duluth. 2 passing touchdowns, 242 yards passing in their performance against the Harbor Monsters. And before we get the next snap, we're going to get a first charge timeout by Iowa. We're going to go to commercial break. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Arena League on YouTube.
Destination Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Choose your activity. Now it's your turn to choose at Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is family focused. We offer childcare for kids while you work out, or they can enjoy various youth sports and activities. We also have party packages for birthdays. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
Good food means different things to different people. That's why there's a local place on the south side of Waterloo everyone can agree on. Highway 63 Diner. Our menu satisfies the taste buds of all ages, with entrees for adults, burgers and sandwiches for the kids, and everyone loves pizza. Check out our daily specials on Facebook and make a reservation today at Highway 63 Diner.
Back here at the Hippodrome in Waterloo, no score between the Lunkers and the Woo. 6:35 to go, first quarter. Second and about 5 for Ozarks. The Smalls takes the snap, throws to the far side, caught by Rush.
Right at that line to gain there, so we'll see where they spot it.
And right at that padding. I felt around the padding. It'll keep you safe. You're wearing your normal football pads and your helmet, but man, is that a hard hit?
It still does not feel good when you're getting slammed into one of those. Yeah, I would not be a fan of getting hit up against the boards there.
The Lunkers do pick up first down on that at about midfield, or I should say right at midfield. Just underway here. So the Lunkers are going to run it to the near side. Bertelsmeyer into the near side wall, about a gain of 5 yards. Bertelsmeyer had only 8 rushing yards last week against Duluth. Already trying to establish a little bit more this week against the Woo.
Yeah, trying to wear down that defensive front a little bit and kind of keep the linebackers on their toes. 2nd
and 4. Smalls throws across the field to Bertelsmeyer again. That's got to be his favorite target so far.
Seems to be a really good connection there. But once again, I think that establishing that run game kind of played dividends there a little bit. The linebackers flowed right with the ball fake to the running back and opened up that middle of the field there for the completion.
Lunkers pick up another first down inside the Iowa 15 to about the 14.5-yard line. Smalls takes the snap and a quick handoff to Rush.
Great open field tackle there.
No gain. And the Woo trying to get another stop here with, yes, no gain on the play.
Looks like we got an officials timeout here.
Yes, we do. Clock stops with 4:21 to go in the first quarter. No score. We're going to get a reset on the play clock. And clock continues to wind. 2nd and 10 for the Ozarks. Smalls takes the snaps. Back pedals. Caught in the end zone for the touchdown, Matt Rush. And just like that, Ozarks strikes first for 6 and takes an early 6-0 lead with just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Be interesting to see here. This is another thing where I'm learning right along with a lot of the people that are first-time viewers here. What's the procedure after a touchdown?
Yes, I'm glad you bring that up. So Obviously, there are no goalposts here, so you either get one attempt from the 5 for 1 point or a 2-point attempt from the 10.
Gotcha.
So Smalls is going to take the snap. Similar play design, spinning, scrambling, lofts it towards the end zone, tipped up in the air, and batted away.
That was a great defensive play on the tip ball there.
Mustafa Majid, the defensive back, gets the tip ball and knocks it down, so the Lunkers unsuccessful on the 1-point PAT attempt. And it'll just be a 6-0 lead for Ozarks to start this game.
Yeah, now it's time to see if the Iowa offense can finally get something going here as the clock continues to wind here in the first quarter. See if we can get back on the board and even get a lead here.
Just under 3 minutes to go. Didn't have a chance to quite explain the throw off at the beginning of the game, but since there's obviously no kicking, the ceiling's pretty low for that.
Yes.
Instead of a kick, you get a throw off from end zone to end zone. It'll be Jalen Jones throwing to Marcus Pierce. So he catches that one just inside the 10, goes up the middle to just beyond the 15, maybe got a half yard. But that's where Iowa will go back to work their third series of the game.
See if they can get a little bit more momentum going on offense. Looks like they've kind of just struggled to even get some forward progress on some of their plays here. Start the game off.
Well, like I mentioned during our pregame, consistent quarterback play has been something that the Woo have been looking to get through these first 3 weeks, and hoping to see that with the addition of Martin and Hobdy here. Hobdy took the snap on this one. Scott had his fingertips on that one, couldn't bring it down, incomplete.
Looked like the ball just sailed on the throw there a little bit. Made that catch a little bit, added a degree of difficulty there on the catch.
Brings up second down. Hansen on the far side lined up. Taking snap, taking to Martin. He's going to take this one.
And just go.
And he goes. He wasn't lined up in the quarterback position, so he was able to take that carry. And a nice pickup for Kobe Martin.
It was really decisive there. Put his foot in the ground and just went. Made a decision and turned out to be a first down play there.
We'll get you that replay here in a second.
There it is.
It's a weird shuffle pass over to Martin, and he's going to be tackled along the near boards. Small gain.
Yeah, got about 1.5 yards there maybe on that play. It's a lot of side-to-side action here so far for the Woo.
It's what they've been comfortable with so far. Pass back over. And we might have a scoring, no, not quite a scoring play, but another pickup for the Woo. We're going to get down into opposing territory nearing the end of the first quarter.
That was a huge play to not only pick up the first down, but then put themselves right in striking distance here for a score.
Yeah, Martin lobbed it over to Hobdy as he was falling backwards. And gets just outside of the 10. We'll be at about the 11 or 12 yard line, but that will bring us to the end of the first quarter, where the Lunkers lead it 6-0. Iowa on the march, though, just outside the Miller Lite red zone. We will take a quick break and be back with the second quarter as Ozarks leads it 6-0. This is the Arena League on YouTube.
In football, the goal is to avoid collisions, but on the road, sometimes collisions are unavoidable. When your car takes a hit, don't throw in the towel. Turn to Iowa Auto Rebuilders. With our full service facility and excellent workmanship, you'll receive high-quality auto repairs and a hassle-free experience. Visit our website at iowaautorebuilders.com to learn more. Get back on the road looking and feeling like a winner with Iowa Auto Rebuilders, where collision meets precision.
It's Ron Steele's 50th anniversary at KWWL. 50 years of covering news here in Eastern Iowa and around the world. A remarkable achievement, an incredible journey. Along the way, he's been honored with the most prestigious awards in broadcast journalism. Braun is an Iowa institution, icon, and local news legend. So join us in celebrating 50 years of steel.
All right, welcome back to Waterloo. We had some technical difficulties as the second quarter gets underway. Ozarks leading at 6-0, but Iowa on the move now inside the Miller Lite red zone at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, inside the 5. Here we see if we can get a big play to get him back even on the board here.
Martin going to take it after the handoff to Pierce. He'll be stopped for a loss, about 3 yards.
Stacked up right back at the 5-yard line there.
You got to feel like this is a must-score opportunity. You don't want to fall behind.
Too fast, too quick. You know, like, got to kind of keep pace here and see if ride some momentum and keep yourself in the game, and just got to keep hanging around.
So not a huge loss, still inside the 5, third and a long 3. Takes the snap. Martin for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Iowa.
Touchdown, Woo. That's a huge play. Took a big shot right at the goal line up against the boards. Toughed it out. Got the ball over the line. Touchdown, Woo.
Kobe Martin, welcome to Iowa.
Taking a look here at the replay. Takes a big shot right as he crosses the goal line.
And just like that, game tied at 6. Iowa has the chance to take the lead here with a successful PAT. They're going to go for the 2-point attempt from the 10.
Interesting choice here. A little bit more room to operate, though. Spread the field a little bit more.
Hobdy in the backfield. Surveying. Runs. Pitches it up to Pierce. And he's going to be taken down at about the 4, so an unsuccessful PAT attempt. But nonetheless, the Woo tie the game at 6 with just under 12 and a half minutes to go in that first half.
Yep, back on the board. Just like I said, just got to keep pace a little bit until you can kind of get a stop and get some momentum going again. But, yeah, that was a huge possession for the Woo to get on the scoreboard there.
We mentioned earlier the Woo still in search of that lucrative first win of the season. Sitting in 4th in the Arena League standings in the inaugural season of just 4 teams. It was mentioned a couple of weeks ago that Eau Claire is going to be joining the league next year.
Be an interesting addition there. See if we can expand in the region a little bit more and grow the game.
Yeah, the 4 teams in the league this year, the Duluth Harbor Monsters up in northern Minnesota, the Kansas City Goats. They're not referring to Patrick Mahomes there. Although they do have a former chief grade as part of ownership.
Wow.
Playing at Municipal Auditorium. Martin's going to do the throw-off duties here for Iowa. Bertelsmeyer will take the bounced throw off.
Able to stay on his feet
Stays
there.
on his feet. And he's going to go all the way to the house.
There is a flag back inside the 10-yard line.
And we do have an Iowa player down, and it is Kobe Martin on the far side of the field. It looks like he's grabbing in the area of his right leg. Certainly hope he is okay. But it appears they are going to the flag against Iowa, so the touchdown will count, unfortunately, and Ozarks is going to quickly re-grab the lead.
One way to look at that, though, is your offense gets the ball right back after a successful drive.
That is true.
See if they can keep some of that momentum going. See if the defense can come up with a stop here on the PAT attempt.
For sure. Telser at the center, with Smalls lined up in the quarterback position. Bertelsmeyer's to his left. Takes the snaps, hands off to Bertelsmeyer. No, he fakes it. Lobs it up to the end zone and caught up against the walls. Kendrick Payne pulls in the 1-point conversion attempt. And with 10:58 to go in the second quarter, Ozarks takes the 13-6 lead.
Did a really good job high pointing that ball back in the corner. Went up and just made a play. Contested catch there and just went up and got it.
So like you mentioned here, Andy, Iowa will get the ball back basically almost immediately.
Yes. So that is a positive to come out of that sequence there. Is you get the ball back in the hands of an offense that seemed to finally get a little footing there and see if we can continue to move the ball.
Jalen Jones, the throw-off duties from the west end zone, throws kind of across his body, taking it off a bounce. Is Pierce, who's handled most of the throw-off return duties this year, isn't going to get anything on the return.
Looks like the Ozarks Lunkers say they have the ball.
And we got a discussion, and they do.
Down inside the 10.
Head referee Chris Hofert conferring with the rest of the officiating crew, and Ozarks does recover. And unfortunately, two bad plays gone awry, and suddenly the Lunkers have the chance to go up 2 possessions.
Not the ideal sequence you're looking there for if you're a member of the Iowa Woo. Puts your defense in a tough spot here, backs up against the wall, trying to keep the Lunkers out of the end zone.
Lunkers have it at the Iowa 6 inside the Miller Lite red zone. So it looks like Kendrick Payne is lined up in the quarterback position, takes the snap, hands it off to Little, who's going to be taken out just short. Maybe got a yard.
Yeah, picks up about 1.5 yards there, right up to the 5-yard line. Maybe just inside.
Forgot to mention at the beginning of our game, our officiating crew is assigned by the Arena League tonight. Head referee Chris Hofert, Jim Prouty, Kelly Martin, Scott Groth, and Willem Muhammad. Doing a nice job enforcing the rules here this evening. Under 9.5 to go, first half. 13-6 Ozarks. Payne scrambling, and he breaks the plane for another Ozarks touchdown. Who take a 19-6 lead after the quick turnover on the throw-off return. Or, hold on a second.
Looks like they have him marked down short, just outside the goal line there.
So 3rd and goal for Ozarks. We're positioned in the west end zone, so it's kind of difficult for us to see all the way down the field.
Looks like Ozarks forced to take a timeout there.
Yeah, head coach Cam Bruffett aggressively yelling to Chris Hofert, I want a timeout, giving him the technical T. I want to take time. So we'll take a timeout with them. 8:44 to go in the second quarter. Ozarks leads at 13-6. This is Arena League football on YouTube. Third and goal. A stop by the Iowa defense as Tobias Little was stuffed behind the line of scrimmage.
All the way back out around the 7 yard line or so. That's a huge stop here.
Be a big momentum shift here potentially if Iowa can get a stop on 4th and goal. Again, if they do turn it over on downs here, Iowa would take over right where they're at, like in traditional 11-on-11 football. But first things first, you got to keep them out of the end zone. Smalls takes the snap, surveys, rolls to his right, looks to his left, back across the field to Tyser, who's going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Lunkers will now take a 19-6 lead, 7:44 to go, first half, as we await the PAT attempt.
It's tough. Looks like we had a chance here at an open field tackle. There's some pretty good pressure put on the quarterback there. Just a missed opportunity right at the 5 yard line to kind of wrap things up and secure a stop there. But now brings up the PAT attempt here for the Lunkers.
They're going to opt for the 1-point attempt from the 5. As Smalls surveys, fires to a mostly open Kendrick Payne.
Makes another contested catch, though.
Yeah, for sure, and that'll make it 20-6 for the Lunkers, just under 7 minutes to go as Iowa gets ready to go back out on offense here. What do they have to do here to get back in this game? They're down for just 2 possessions, not impossible to overcome.
I was just going to say, they got to keep in mind the fact that it is only a 2-possession game. There's a lot of game left to play. Just take care of some of those mental mistakes, ball security issues, and their offense, last time they actually had and possessed the ball for an extended period of time, they were able to move the ball down the field pretty successfully, obviously ending in a score. So they know they can move the ball against this team. They just have to clean up some of those mental mistakes.
For sure. The Woo in their home black uniforms, black pants, jerseys, helmets. The Lunkers, white jerseys, white pants, bright red helmets.
Got
very attractive.
Chrome on the face mask, too. Really cool look.
Big return here.
All the way for a Woo touchdown. Talk about getting right back in the game here.
Kyler Henson to the house. Another welcome to Iowa moment as another Woo player in his team debut finds the end zone. And just like that, the Woo are right back in it. 20-12 pending the PAT.
Yep, and here we get another chance to look at this. Takes the kickoff just inside the 10, makes one man miss, and he just turns on the jets and is gone. Straight to the house. Right back in it here for the Woo. 1-point attempt here coming on the PAT.
Scrambling, firing for the end zone, incomplete. Hobde was looking for Henson.
Looks like he just kind of short-armed it there a little bit. Came up just a bit short.
Moving quick here, but Iowa pulls back within a possession of 8 points, 20-12, just under 5 minutes to go until halftime. You know, those special plays, those could give you a jolt of lightning back into your system.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just bring a bunch of energy to the entire team there. Everybody on the sidelines, on the bench, too, getting hyped. You know, you never know how that play and the momentum is going to snowball here to the rest of this sequence going into halftime.
3 touchdowns for Ozarks here in this first half, 2 for the Woo. 1 coming in each quarter for Iowa. 1 in the first quarter for the Lunkers, 2 this period for Ozarks. Bertelsmeyer is going to be back to receive the throw-off. It appears Miles Goldburn's going to throw from the east end zone. And he's going to be nowhere near Bertelsmeyer's. Ball's going to fly out of bounds. Another fun thing here about the Arena League, Andy, any balls that go out of bounds, whether, thrown out of bounds or a throw-off goes out of bounds, the fans get to keep the balls.
That's a souvenir.
That is a fan souvenir to keep, and I've played with some of those, and they are firm football to play with.
Yes, they are. I mean, it's the real deal.
And they're individualized too. They got Iowa Woo branding on there, the signature of NFL Hall of Famer Tim Brown, the commissioner of the league.
That's a pretty cool thing to be able to take home at the end of the day.
Ozarks was warming up with some red balls during pregame warmups. As they take back over under 3.5 to go, leading by 8. High snap. Smalls evades the tackle, throws across his body. Is caught by Shrugs.
Breaks the tackle.
And he'll waltz right into the end zone. And another quick strike by the Lunkers, who are going to nearly double up Iowa now, 26-12, 3 minutes to go.
Taking another look at this again, there was really great pressure on the quarterback initially. Just missed wrapping up on the tackle to make a big defensive stop there. On the other side of that, though, receiver for the Ozarks Lunkers makes a big play, makes one man miss, and takes it right to the house there.
Another 1-point attempt for the Lunkers. The snap, pitch back to Little, falls incomplete. I think they were going for Eli Tyser there, the big man who caught a touchdown earlier tonight. So no extra point given to Ozarks. It'll be 26-12 as the clock continues to roll towards halftime. 2:12 to go until the break.
We had kind of a slow start offensively in that first quarter with only 1 touchdown being scored. Now it seems like the floodgates have opened a little bit. A lot of offense really quickly here for both teams.
Once again, it'll be Jalen Jones. I think he's done all the throw-off duties up until now.
They're switching it out now.
Kendrick Payne is going to take this one. First, we're going to get a whistle.
An official's timeout?
It appears so. No indication if it was a timeout called by either team. No, correction, we're at the 2-minute warning.
Oh, there it is.
We need to watch the clock better, buddy.
I guess. My goodness.
2-minute warning here in Waterloo. The Lunkers lead at 26-12. We'll take a quick break and be back with the final 2 minutes of the first half. This is Arena League football on YouTube. Final 2 minutes. About to get ready here of the first half. The throw off by Payne. Down the field. And corralled by Henson.
Touchback.
And it'll be a touchback, so we'll bring it out past the end zone.
Looks like the Lunkers are arguing here for a safety.
Yeah, a number of players are putting their hands above their head wanting it.
Players and coaches.
Well, referee Chris Hofert says no, touchback.
Brings the ball out to the 15-yard line.
90 seconds and rolling. Let's see if Iowa can get together one last scoring drive. Yeah, we're going to have an official's timeout.
Looks like they're bringing the ball all the way back to the 5.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep. That's the typical starting spot when you usually punt. So Iowa will have to go 45 yards to try and add another score to this game. Pass caught. We got a flag on the play.
Still on his feet, fighting for yards.
Yeah, Hobdy got up near, I believe, the 15.
Yep, just short of the 15-yard line there.
But we have a penalty marker down, some dirty laundry in the backfield.
See what that call is.
It's going to be a personal foul. It's going to go on the Ozarks. First penalty of the night against the Lunkers.
That's a huge momentum boost here for the Iowa Woo. See if we can take advantage of that. Added field position there.
It's going to bring them into Lunkers territory. Now, as I'm looking up at the clock at the top of the west end zone, 1:28 to go. Clock will roll on the snap. If you're the Woo, you don't want to leave too much time because you do have to throw off to the Lunkers in the second half.
As quickly as we've seen both of these teams score the football, it's going to be interesting to see how they manage this last 1:28 here.
Hobdy in the backfield takes the snap from Scott. Pitches it over to Martin. Back over to Scott at the 10. He's going to be smacked into the wall around the 7-yard line, but he's inside the Miller Lite red zone.
Big time first down pickup there. Just kind of found a hole in the zone behind that first line of defenders. Just sat down, was ready for the ball, and made a play.
I should mention this, Andy. I did forget about this. Final 2 minutes of each half with a 2-minute warning. Clock does stop on each play.
A little bit more time there. And
Martin pitches it over to Hobdy. He's going to run for the end zone.
Touchdown.
And he's in.
Woo.
Touchdown, Woo.
Let's go.
As he gives us some fist bumps here in the west end zone.
Big time play there to get the Woo back on the board right before half. Just kind of keep that momentum going. Taking another look at it here. Just takes a quick little strike about 3 yards up the field and makes a couple men miss. Walks right into the end zone, gives us a nice little fist bump. Touchdown, Woo.
You could see the excitement in his eyes.
Oh, yeah. He was hyped.
Martin, as they go for the 1-point attempt, scrambling. Loose ball back near midfield. He's going to, looks like he almost flicked that almost out of bounds.
Tipped that out of bounds on purpose.
Well, we don't have a flag on that, so thankfully we're good.
Nope, just unsuccessful 1-point attempt there. Leaves us with 1:05 to go right before halftime here.
Yeah, 2 timeouts remaining for both sides. Remember, final 2 minutes of each half. Clock does stop on each play. So who knows, potentially, if the Woo can get a stop here,
yeah,
they might be able to get the ball back, but it won't be a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot more time than you think right now, but that clock will also wind down pretty quickly.
Lunkers lead it 26-18, 65 ticks remaining on the game clock. Bertelsmeyer standing just outside the 5-yard line. As here comes the throw off. Stays in bounds, lands in the end zone. Bertelsmeyer's going to have to bring it out. Evades a tackler, flag on the play. Still on his feet, scrambling. And he's just going to trip himself up. He could have potentially taken that the whole way.
Tripped on the 20-yard line.
I don't want to say turf toe, but you can kind of lose your balance when you're running on this. And looks like he's a little shaken up on that. Hopefully, maybe just got the wind knocked out of him, but he is back up on his feet. He is limping a little bit, unfortunately.
He is coming off the field under his own power, though, so
that
you do like
good
to see that. We'll check the flag here and see what the call is.
And it is going to go against Ozarks.
All the way back inside the 10-yard line. Down inside the 5 is where they'll mark the ball.
Not quite sure if I saw if it was an illegal hold or block, but
I think it was a holding call there.
But yeah, inside the 5, about the 4.5-yard line, and 50.4 seconds to go until halftime. The Lunkers leading it by 8.
This is almost a must-stop here situation for the Woo, especially giving them the ball, giving the ball back to the Lunkers here at the start of the second half. Got to keep them off the board here before halftime.
Play clock running from 25 seconds. Smalls a foot length inside his own end zone. Working very precariously. Takes a high snap. Surveys. He's going to take a deep shot down the field. Incomplete.
Overshot his receiver just barely there. Had a chance to make a play, but just out of reach.
Matt Rush was the intended target. He caught the first touchdown of tonight's game. Good coverage by Chris Herring, the defensive back.
Brings up second down here for the Woo defense. See if we can continue to just kind of keep everything in front of you and make sure you get a stop here. Big momentum stop here for the defense.
44.6 to go in the second quarter. Woo head coach Mook Hollywood Zimmerman standing in the end zone here, surveying his defense. As Small takes the snap, it's going to roll to his right. Quick pass over to the right. That's Rush. Hitting up against the wall against Herring.
Brings up third down and short here.
Yep.
Clock continuing to run.
It will, yes. I think it's just on incomplete passes inside the final 2 minutes.
Timeout Lunkers.
And Lunkers will take the timeout. Cam Bruffett looked like he was a little confused of why the clock might still have been running, but looks like just incomplete passes within the final 2 minutes will stop the clock. Otherwise, if it's not, then it'll just continue to roll throughout the game.
Live ball, yep.
Exactly. 26-18. And Andy, we've had a fun first half here.
A lot of points, yeah.
A lot of points.
Looks like we will be having a clock reset here to 31 seconds.
Yeah, Chris Hofert announcing that up to the scoreboard operators behind us. We're positioned again just beyond the west end zone wall in the Miller Lite field level experience. If you haven't been to an Iowa Woo game, I highly recommend it. It's fun. It's a great family atmosphere. It's fun football here in the summer in the Cedar Valley.
A lot of action on the field, a lot of things to do for the whole family off the field.
And a great fan experience.
I don't know, a hot tub right behind us.
I was just going to say, we have the hot tub in the Hot Tubs R Us Pools and Spas hot tub party deck. We have a couple young kids having a good time. I think they probably should put some ice cubes in there. It's kind of hot today.
It is. Here we go. We're back to action here. 31 seconds to go before halftime.
Small spinning passes across his body to Telser.
Makes a man miss.
Excuse me. Now he's going to throw it downfield.
Miscommunication there with his receiver down the field to cut his route off.
He was going for Kendrick Payne, and he had two Woo defenders in the vicinity. I was thinking one of them might drop back and try and pick that ball off.
Yep, they had a chance to make a play there, but once again, the defense is able to come up with a stop, and it looks like the Lunkers are going to surrender the ball.
They will, and as we mentioned earlier, if you have the option of either going forward on fourth down or surrendering it at the opposite 5-yard line, which is what Ozarks is going to do. They're going to give the Woo the ball back with 22.9 seconds to go in the first half. Iowa's got 2 timeouts to work with, one for the Lunkers.
Definitely a situation here where you got to think about taking a couple shots to get the score evened up and get yourself even closer into the game here right before halftime.
So here we go. Hobdy lined up in the quarterback position. Takes the snap, flips it back to Martin. Throws upfield.
First down.
And a first down catch, a nice catch there.
Sliding right up against the boards there. Really difficult play.
That was Justin Brown. It felt like he was going for somebody else, and when it slipped past him, Brown was right there. He hit the wall kind of hard, but he got it.
Made the play.
Clock rolls, 11 seconds to go till the break. Martin's going to run it with his feet, avoids a tackler, and he'll go down just beyond midfield. And Frank Costin, the assistant coach on the near side, is going to burn one of those timeouts with 4.3 seconds to go to the break. So it looks like the Woo are going to get one shot here.
One last shot to get the ball in the end zone here before halftime.
And I would say here, Andy, as we approach the halftime break, your approach here is obviously you want to try and score and make this, tighten the gap, obviously.
Yeah, you want to close the gap, but you also don't want to make the big mistake.
Exactly, because, that's kind of hurt the Woo in their first 3 games this season is some mistakes that they've made, that these turnovers that have turned into points, whether it be a fumble that leads to a scoring drive or just a scoop and score.
Exactly. Yep, so you just got to take a chance here, but also be safe at the same time. Take your shot at the end zone, but if it's not there, don't force it.
Looks like Iowa will have it at the Ozarks 21-yard line. So 21 yards to go. Basically a 21-yard by 85-foot box you have to work with. Obviously, you can run backwards.
Yep.
In that box. But here we go. Final play, it appears, of the first half. With Hobby alone in the backfield.
Lunkers defensive backs all hanging back around the 10 to 5 yard line here, trying to keep everything in front of them.
A little bit of zone defense. Hobby takes the snap, fires up. It's caught by Couch. He'll pick up a couple, go down just beyond the 15-yard line, but the clocks will hit 0, and that will take us to the end of the first half. Andy, a good first half.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of really good football was played. A couple mistakes made by the Woo, but they were able to overcome those and get themselves right back in the game. We should have a really exciting second half here coming up shortly.
The Lunkers will receive the opening throw-off of the second half, and we'll be back in a little bit. We'll bring you some halftime numbers, some of the scoring totals for individuals, and bring you the second half action. Ozarks leads at 26-18 here at the Hippodrome in Waterloo. We'll send you to halftime. We'll be back in a little bit. This is Arena League Football on YouTube.
Destination Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Choose your activity. Now it's your turn to choose at Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Good food means different things to different people. That's why there's a local place on the south side of Waterloo everyone can agree on. Highway 63 Diner. Our menu satisfies the taste buds of all ages, with entrees for adults, burgers and sandwiches for the kids. And everyone loves pizza. Check out our daily specials on Facebook and make a reservation today at Highway 63 Diner.
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is family-focused. We offer childcare for kids while you work out, or they can enjoy various youth sports and activities. We also have party packages for birthdays. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
In football, the goal is to avoid collisions, but on the road, sometimes collisions are unavoidable. When your car takes a hit, don't throw in the towel. Turn to Iowa Auto Rebuilders. With our full-service facility and excellent workmanship, you'll receive high-quality auto repairs and a hassle-free experience. Visit our website at iowaautorebuilders.com to learn more. Get back on the road looking and feeling like a winner with Iowa Auto Rebuilders, where collision meets precision.
Here are just some of the many options at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Volleyball, swimming, group fitness classes, spinning, boot camp, running, yoga, walking, cardio, weightlifting, woo! See more options at cvsportsplex.org.
Whether you're looking to gather with friends or need a great location for a company party or event, Maple Lanes is the place. You're sure to have fun with bowling, pool, pinball, and other party games. Who says team building can't be fun? Challenge your staff to volleyball or let us set up the bags court for you. Kingpin Social has a wide variety of great food and drinks to top off your experience. Whether it's 2 people or 200, Maple Lanes has you covered.
It's Ron Steele's 50th anniversary at KWWL. 50 years of covering news here in Eastern Iowa and around the world. A remarkable achievement, an incredible journey. Along the way, he's been honored with the most prestigious awards in broadcast journalism. Ron is an Iowa institution, icon, and local news legend. So join us in celebrating 50 years of Steele.
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is senior focused. Take a class or work out on your own. We have activities for any age or skill level. Bring in your insurance card to see if you qualify for a free senior membership. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
Destination Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Choose your activity. Now it's your turn to choose at Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Different things to different people. That's why there's a local place on the south side of Waterloo everyone can agree on. Highway 63 Diner. Our menu satisfies the taste buds of all ages, with entrees for adults, burgers and sandwiches for the kids. And everyone loves pizza. Check out our daily specials on Facebook and make a reservation today at Highway 63 Diner.
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is family focused. We offer childcare for kids while you work out, or they can enjoy various youth sports and activities. We also have party packages for birthdays. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
In football, the goal is to avoid collisions, but on the road, sometimes collisions are unavoidable. When your car takes a hit, don't throw in the towel. Turn to Iowa Auto Rebuilders. With our full service facility and excellent workmanship, you'll receive high-quality auto repairs and a hassle-free experience. Visit our website at iowaautorebuilders.com to learn more. Get back on the road looking and feeling like a winner with Iowa Auto Rebuilders, where collision meets precision.
It's Ron Steele's 50th anniversary at KWWL. 50 years of covering news here in Eastern Iowa and around the world. A remarkable achievement, an incredible journey. Along the way, he's been honored with the most prestigious awards in broadcast journalism. Ron is an Iowa institution, icon, and local news legend. So join us in celebrating 50 years of Steele.
Here are just some of the many options at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Volleyball, swimming, group fitness classes, spinning, boot camp, running, yoga, walking, cardio, weightlifting, woo! See more options at cvsportsplex.org.
Whether you're looking to gather with friends or need a great location for a company party or event, Maple Lanes is the place. You're sure to have fun with bowling, pool, pinball, and other party games. Who says team building can't be fun? Challenge your staff to volleyball or let us set up the bags court for you. Kingpin Social has a wide variety of great food and drinks to top off your experience. Whether it's 2 people or 200, Maple Lanes has you covered.
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is senior focused. Take a class or work out on your own. We have activities for any age or skill level. Bring in your insurance card to see if you qualify for a free senior membership. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
Destination Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Choose your activity. Now it's your turn to choose at Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Valley Sportsplex is family focused. We offer childcare for kids while you work out, or they can enjoy various youth sports and activities. We also have party packages for birthdays. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
And we welcome you back to Waterloo for the second half of tonight's game between the Iowa Woo and the Ozarks Lunkers. Ozarks leading at 26-18. Andy, an entertaining first half, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, right before halftime, there's a lot of offense there in that second quarter. A lot of those quick scoring plays. So the offenses seem to really get their footing there in the second quarter. See if some of that continues into the second half, or if the defenses can step up and start making some plays.
Taking a look at some of the first half stats, 3 total touchdowns for the Iowa Woo, a rushing score by Kobe Martin, the newcomer. Dominic Hobley also making his team debut, had a rushing score late in the second quarter. And Kyler Henson also making his team debut with a throw-off return for a touchdown. So
a
the
lot of
newcomers,
welcome to Iowa moments here for some of these guys.
Exactly. Three of those such moments for the Woo here tonight in the first half. Looking at Ozarks real quick, 3 passing touchdowns for Smalls in that first half. Receiving touchdowns to Rush, Tyre, and Scruggs, and a throw-off return by Bergelsmeyer. They got some electric playmakers over there. But, you know, it's still a one-possession game.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot of guys that are really elusive. They've made a lot of guys miss. And so that's one of the things that I think should be a focus here for the Iowa Woo going into the second half, is making sure they wrap up on tackles, be sure-footed, and just, you know, make the play that's there. Don't try to do too much.
Second half just about ready to get started here. Ozarks will receive the opening throw-off, and it'll be Miles Goldborn to do the honors of the throwing from the west end zone to the east. Looking ahead briefly for the Woo, they'll be back on the road next week as they face the Duluth Harbor Monsters for the first time up in northern Minnesota, which will lead into their bye week during the 4th of July weekend before they go back to Duluth again to face the Harbor Monsters on July 13th. And then they'll close the regular season with 2 home games. The first, July 20th against the Kansas City Goats, and hosting Duluth a third and final time, July 27th, here in the Hippodrome. Second half underway, and
a
Goldborn's
free souvenir.
Yeah, free souvenir on Goldborn's opening throw-off. Didn't even stay close to the field.
Looked like he did that on purpose. I think he just wanted to give some of those kids over there a free souvenir to take home and have fun with.
Well, as they said in semi-pro, it looks like a lucky fan is going home with a game ball.
Yep, there it is.
So the Ozarks will get excellent field position to start the second half here.
They will take over where the ball left the field of play.
And it looks like that's going to be midfield. So that's excellent starting field position for head coach Cam Bruffett's squad. Ozarks trying to string consecutive wins together. The Smalls takes the snap, lobs it up in the air, almost picked away.
Off.
Matt
Great
Rush.
defensive there.
Matt Rush was the intended target. Instead, it was knocked away by C.J. McMillan.
Great defensive play. Read the quarterback's eyes. Was right there to make the play at the point of contact.
So they'll bring up second down for the Lunkers. Half a minute gone in this third period. Play clock rolls down to 12. As Smalls takes the snap, drops back, rolls to the near side, looks, fires. It's going to be passed incomplete. It was tipped by Raj Lewis.
Got up there. Really got in the face of the quarterback, got his hands up, was able to get a fingertip on the ball and knock it down. That could have been a really big play there for the Lunkers. Wide open in the middle of the field.
And this is one of the things that the Woo want to do. They want to get these drives stopped early and get off the field so the offense can go to work. They've let a number of drives this season continue to roll on, giving up third and fourth down conversions.
Big third down play coming
High
here.
snap to Smalls. Scrambles. It's caught by Payne.
Goes backwards.
Initially got tripped up by Majid and then finished off by one of his teammates. So it'll bring up a fourth and it looks like about 7. And the Ozarks looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 7. They've surrendered the ball the last 2 times they faced fourth down.
It's a big opportunity here for the Woo to get off the field.
4th down, first possession, another high snap. Smalls looking, and he will go nowhere, and the Lunkers are going to turn it over on downs.
Huge play there for the Woo defense. Really great opportunity here for the offense to make the Lunkers pay for not coming out and scoring.
Well, the Woo fans love that one. They've been shouting "Woo" all night anytime they see something good.
You gotta love it.
It's a great fan base that's gotten really involved in this first season, and in a great Cedar Valley community.
Yeah, Waterloo's really bought into this team, it looks like.
Just very passionate, especially in their first year of existence. So Iowa's going to take over at their own 21-yard line. As Dominic Hobby will take the snap, look, fire, and incomplete. Falls out of the hands of Justin Brown.
Almost a really impressive catch there. Defender was all over him.
Yeah, he was sliding as he was going down. It just couldn't hold on to it. Brings up 2nd and 10. As Frank Costin, the assistant coach, calling plays from the backfield. One of 2 assistants on this Woo staff. Couldn't tell if that was a little bit of a shuffle pass or a fumble, but it's picked up by Miles Goulbourne. But it will be a gain of yardage for the Woo. Pick up about 5 yards.
Interesting little bit of a broken play there. Ended up being a positive for the Woo.
Yeah, wasn't quite sure if Hobdy was trying to kind of shuffle pass that or if even he fumbled it.
Looked like it almost got tipped out of his hands toward his teammate there. Lucky bounce there.
It did. 3rd and 5 for Iowa. Just beyond midfield. Takes the snap. Hands off to Martin. Martin surveying, lobs it over to Scott, who picks up the first down by about a yard.
Yep, here we go. They're just kind of chipping away at this defense, taking what's there and just slowly moving their way down the field.
And they're going to move deeper into Lunkers territory. They're going to reset the chains at about the Ozarks 16. 10:45 to go, third period. Lunkers lead at 26-18. Iowa recently stuffed a 4th down play on their last defensive possession. Goulbourne with the reception, lunges ahead, avoids 2 tacklers.
Gets a head of steam going there. You do not want to be in front of him when he gets going.
Clear the tracks. Copy. So we're going to get a penalty on the play, but some great defensive plays here so far in the second half, especially by Iowa.
Yeah.
And starting to turn that momentum into some offense, and as they find themselves now inside the 5-yard
line here. Big opportunity to get back on the board here to start the second half.
First and goal inside the Miller Lite red zone. Fakes a handoff, shuffles it over, incomplete.
Just behind the receiver there.
Martin was on the far side of the field, but Scott was also just inside the end zone, but he looked like he was a little bit covered.
He was.
Brings up second and goal for the Woo. Just under 9 minutes to go, third period. Iowa trying to cut this lead in half. Fires for the end zone, incomplete.
Looking for a flag there. He thinks he was held trying to get down the field into the end zone.
He might have got a little bit of a tug there, but Hobney's intended pass for Martin falls incomplete, brings up third down. It's too bad you can't get any field goal points on a possession like this.
I was going to say, they did a lot of work to get all the way down here. You got to just pay it off with a touchdown.
And before we can even get the third down snap, we're going to get a timeout called by Iowa. And with this timeout, we'll take a look at the Odell collision of the game, as Goulbourne took a big hit but helped set up that nice
look inside the red zone here for the Iowa Woo.
Got to take those big hits and keep driving. We'll take a look at some more defensive plays here shortly. But Iowa starting to come out of their huddle, as do the Lunkers. Iowa trying to get the first points of the second half. With the opportunity to potentially tie the game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yep, the door is wide open for them to kind of take control of this game a little bit and kind of, control their own destiny when it comes to their offense.
Exactly.
Here.
So we got some fan games here on the field. I think we were doing a, what was that, 30 or 40-yard dash there.
Looked like a 40-yard dash. They stuck off from the 10.
We got some runners, some track stars out here.
They were moving. Not going to lie, there were some athletes out there.
They got some speed.
And now they're trying to hustle off the field as well.
Iowa discussing their third down options here. Again, they're just inside the 5-yard line.
A lot of what they've been running the past couple plays, the opportunities to score have been there. They just got to, one of them is just a pass just behind the receiver, unable to make a play. Another one almost could have been a holding call, but was another really good opportunity to score. So just kind of keep doing what they're doing, and I think take advantage of what's there.
So here we go, third and goal. Hobney in the backfield. Takes the snap, lobs it towards the end zone, and there is that flag that we've been looking for. Missed it maybe potentially on one of the previous plays.
See what the call is. Looks like one of the Lunkers thinks it's offensive.
Potentially, Jalen Jones wasn't too happy with the call.
Officials here discussing.
We'll wait for Chris Hofert's official ruling. And it will be defensive holding against Ozarks.
Once again, move the ball up just a little bit closer.
So a replay of third down from about the 1. Snap to Goulbourne, hands it off.
Another shot to the end zone.
Jamal Couch.
Fans Iowa fans are again looking for a penalty flag in the end zone. Looked like there was a lot of contact there before the ball arrived.
Yeah, initially in real time, it looked like the defender was pulling down Jamal Couch before the ball could even be caught. So it'll bring up 4th and goal from the 1. Just under 7 minutes to go. Third quarter, Iowa trails it 26-18. Goulbourne lined up at QB, takes the snap, hands over to Hobdy.
Cuts back.
Hit as he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa.
Gives him a little too little sign there at the end. He kind of truck sticked the Lunkers defender there in the end zone. A little sign of toughness there from the quarterback. Taking another look at it here. Takes the pitch back from the quarterback. Puts his foot in the ground, makes the man miss, cuts all the way back across the field, and levels the boom on a Lunker and lets them know about it after the fact.
He did. He definitely did. And it looks like Iowa's going to try and go for the tie here with a 2-point conversion attempt from the 10. Fires wide open. Oscar Scott! Good for 2, and we are tied at 26.
Talk about a huge momentum swing here for the Woo. Players on the sidelines know it. They can feel the energy has definitely shifted here into their favor.
Hobdy's second rushing score of the night. And after trailing at one point 20-6 in the second quarter, Iowa's come all the way back with 5.5 minutes to go, in the third quarter. We're all knotted up at 26.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier when you asked me what they needed to do to get back into the game, it took care of a lot of those mental mistakes that were happening in the first half. And, just stay consistent.
Goulbourne, throw off duties once again.
Hits a fan
on
the ceiling.
Not a human fan.
Hits a fan on the ceiling, yes.
We should note that. The ceiling here at the Hippodrome is somewhat low. Obviously, you can't do kicking anyway in the Arena League.
That's right.
But it looked like it might stay in bounds. Not quite sure, but it hit the ceiling beforehand. So it is a penalty for hitting the ceiling, and it'll be good field position for the Lunkers at midfield. Be a great chance for the Woo defense to get another stop here like they did last time.
Yep, I think they just got to keep riding that momentum, keep making some of those energy plays, and keep getting their teammates fired up here.
Second possession for the Lunkers. Pass flip back to Rush. Along the far side, he's going to get the first down. A hard hit along the side wall. Looks like he was almost scraping the side wall.
Exchanges some words with some fans there, too.
Yeah.
Hit a little chippy.
Iowa fans not afraid to get into this game. Obviously want to show good sportsmanship.
Definitely.
But all of a sudden, I was going to say, Andy, the Lunkers in the Miller Lite red zone in one play.
Yep.
At about the 7-yard line. Snap, flip back. Fires to the end zone. And a diving catch. Looks like Chris Suggs. He hit the wall as he caught it, but an excellent catch. And just like that, the Lunkers retake the lead.
Yep. Again, it's that quick strike offense for both teams. Both teams have continued to show that they can score the ball really quickly. Here we get another look at it. Takes a shot to the corner of the end zone down the field. Play made right up against the boards. Impressive catch there for the Lunkers.
Scruggs, his second reception score of the night. Lunkers going to go for one. Snap to Smalls. Rolls to his right, looking. Has some time, escapes. Flips it towards the end zone. We're going to get a flag. It was caught.
Catch was made in the end zone. Let's check with flag here.
Kendrick Payne with a nice catch. Looked almost one-handed.
Sure did. Penalty was against the Woo.
They do
Penalty
decline
being declined.
So the Lunkers take a 33-26 lead with 2:35 to go in the third quarter.
Once again, it's can't get too much into your head if you're the Iowa Woo. It's one possession here. Just get the ball back and go to work. You know you can score the ball on these guys.
We saw it on their last possession. Iowa can get a big play and get down the field quickly. But the fans are having a great time here and a great ball game.
The Woos are raining down from the stands.
They were. It was raining here actually earlier.
It was, yes.
As I mentioned, we've had some rain. We've had some flooding up in northern Minnesota, expected to come down into east central Iowa here in the coming hours and days. But, you know, Iowans are resilient in the face of severe weather.
We sure are.
But having a good time here tonight as we await the throw off. Jalen Jones once again to do all the duties. Free ball on the ground. And the Lunkers say they have it. Waiting for an official word. Still waiting on an official word from that. It will be Lunkers ball.
Yeah, we see the defense coming out here for the Woo.
Well, nothing you can do now except go back to work on defense and get a stop.
Yep. Just take it one play at a time. Just trying to make it one play, and one play can turn the tide of the entire game here.
Clock rolls under a minute here in the third quarter, 51 seconds, with the Lunkers leading at 33-26. Iowa tied it on their last possession, but just fumbled the ball on the throw-off return.
It's one of those mental mistakes we talked about earlier. Some of those things you just have to clean up if you want to stay in these games.
So we look back out on the field here, head coach Mook Hollywood Zimmerman pleading with head official Chris Hofert.
Fans are standing up with him.
I don't think we'll be able to have a video review of that, but
it has led to further discussion, though.
It has. And it looks like some members of the Iowa offense are actually back out on the field.
Yep.
First guy I noticed, Miles Goulbourne, center Oscar Scott. Got a flag thrown on the field, and
illegal procedure on the Lunkers is what it looked like to be signaled.
The decision being relayed to Cam Bruffett, the head coach for the Lunkers. Bruffett being assisted by Zach Troman, Justin DeFries, Jimmy Scott, Lee Howard, and Cody Kimes. As now the Lunker defense is making its way back on the field. So it does appear that Iowa will retain
possession here. They will take over the ball at midfield. 46 seconds to go before the end of the third quarter. Definitely a chance to take a couple shots here and get on the board again, tie this thing up.
For sure.
Or potentially take the lead.
So after all that discussion, they're going to adjust the chains here real quick. They had them going the opposite direction.
Yep.
So Iowa will have 46.3 seconds remaining in this third quarter, trailing by 7. I have to do quick math in my head.
It's pretty good there, Joel.
Thank you. Clock rolling. As Kobe Martin lined up at quarterback, flips it back to Hobdy. Fires up the middle, caught by Jamal Couch. I think it's just short of first down yardage.
Picks
but a nice
up about 9, yeah. Great play there. Took what the defense gave him, wide open in the middle of the field.
Second and about 1 or a long 2. Again, we're a little bit of a difficulty judging distance based on our broadcast position in the west end zone.
Looks like they're going to try and get one more play off here before the fourth quarter.
Yep, 6 seconds and running, 5. Hobdy scrambling. He's going to get taken down. He loses his towel as he's tackled.
Back at the original line of scrimmage, back at midfield as the clock expires here in the third quarter.
Whistle blows, and Andy, we got ourselves a game, a 7-point game heading to the fourth quarter. Buckle up, fans. We're in for a great finish here tonight at the Hippodrome. We will be back with the fourth quarter of tonight's game. The Lunkers lead at 33-26 on the Arena League Football Network on YouTube.
Destination Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Choose your activity. Now it's your turn to choose at Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Back here at the Hippodrome on the historic Cattle Congress grounds in Waterloo. Crowd singing to the tune of John Denver. As
Country Roads, Take Me Home.
Exactly. The Woo looking to bring this thing home down by 7 as the fourth quarter begins. As we're going to get a big rushing play here by Hobby.
Still on his feet, take a big shot there and stayed on his feet, got a few more yards for it looks like a first down.
And he does, and to me, miraculous, he's able to hold on to the football. He had a lot of lunkers trying to knock that thing out.
Yeah, I mean, he was stood up there, kept the legs churning, picked up a few more yards in that first down.
But he gets to the lunkers, inside the lunkers 15. 30 seconds gone here in the final period of play. Iowa down 7. Martin lined up. He will throw, nearly intercepted. Matt Rush, who's played a little bit of everything tonight. Running back, receiver, defensive back there. I think he threw for a touchdown pass earlier in this game as well.
Yeah.
But just able to knock that one away, brings up 2nd and 10.
Almost looked like he tried to force the ball in there. Got to remember to just take what the defense gives you. Don't want to take yourself out of the game.
Hobby looking, avoids a tackler, pitches it over to Martin. He's going to carry it inside the 10 down to about the 9. Picks up about 2 or 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, with this continuous clock, it almost feels like it's getting to the point where I know it's only about a minute and a half gone, but the way the Lunkers have been able to hold on to the football when they need to, it's almost feeling like a must-score possession here for the Woo.
Exactly. 3rd and 6. Inside the Miller Lite red zone. Kobe Martin making his Woo debut. Gets the pitch from Marcus Pierce. He's going to run for the corner. Wide open. In for the score. Touchdown, Iowa.
Huge momentum play. Once again, just a very decisive run. Took the pitch, put his foot in the ground, and took off.
Untouched into the end zone. And the Woo are going to go for, looks like they were going to go for the 1 initially. Now they're going to go for the 2, try and get their first lead of the night.
Yeah, here we take another look at it. Takes the pitch back around the 20-yard line, puts his foot in the ground, and he is gone. Walks into the end zone.
We're going to get a
Woo
whistle
touchdown.
here.
Officials timeout, it looks like. It looks like the Woo do decide to move the ball back up to the 5-yard line for that 1-point attempt.
Had a little bit of an issue with the play clock. Yeah, I could have swore I saw assistant coach Frank Costin put up the finger for the 1.
Yep.
Iowa did convert on their last 2-point attempt. That was to tie the game back in the third quarter.
Yep.
This one to try and tie the game for a second time here in the second half. Oscar Scott did a good job moving that ball up 5 yards to go for the 1. Martin takes the snap, rolls to the near side, lofts it up. He was intending for Kyler Henson, but it drops incomplete. It was nearly picked off.
Once again, it just looked like he kind of short-armed that ball. Tried to almost aim it instead of throw it. Landed just short of his receiver.
So clock continuing to roll, just under 12 minutes to go. Fourth quarter, Iowa's within 1.
Yeah, I mean, they were down, 20-6 at one point.
They were down 14, 2-possession game, 2 touchdowns. But now have a definite shot. They're still in search of that first win of the season.
Definitely knocking on the door here.
The Woo dropping 2 games to Kansas City each of the last 2 weeks, and the season opener against the Lunkers back on June 1st down in Springfield, Missouri. Goldborn with throw-off duties. He's going to keep this one in the field of play, but once again will hit the ceiling.
That's really difficult here. It looked like he had a good throw there. Just kind of caught one of the beams that's on this lower ceiling here in the Hippodrome. Really unfortunate. Looks like the Lunkers will then take over at midfield again.
I believe that's the 3rd straight offensive possession for Ozarks that they're going to have it at midfield.
Yeah, really great field position for them,
So.
but then again puts the Iowa Woo defense in kind of a tough spot here, seeing if they can keep them out of the end zone.
It's a tough thing to do. You know, you got to keep it. You want to get it far down there so they have to run it a ways, but you also don't want to go too high. You know, it's not an open-air stadium like the Arrowhead Stadium. But either way, first down play
here.
As the Lunkers are going to try and get their ground game established. Ronnie Bertelsmeyer, we haven't seen much from him in the second half so far, gets the running game going. The nice pickup on first down.
Looked like they were really trying to establish that in the first half. Kind of got away from that a little bit going into the third quarter. Looks like they might be trying to reestablish that ground game.
Second and short. Bertelsmeyer lined up behind Marquise Small in the quarterback position. Takes the snap. We're going to get a flag. And it looks like it's going to be a false start against the Lunkers.
Move them back.
It's been a decent amount of penalties here tonight. A couple more potentially against the Lunkers.
Seems like it. I know we kind of talk a little bit about some of the mental mistakes that the Woo have made, but the more costly ones for the Lunkers have been in terms of those penalty yards that are starting to pile up for them.
10:35 remaining in this ball game. Ozarks leads at 33 to 32, excuse me. With a 2nd and 1. Pitches over to Bertelsmeyer.
Big time open field tackle there.
Big tackle. Got back to where the ball previously was before that 5-yard false start penalty. But a 2nd and short, a 3rd and 2.
Another opportunity here for the Woo to try and get off the field next couple plays.
Now, if the Lunkers don't convert here, you got to imagine they're going to go for it.
Yeah, it's kind of in that no man's land area where they're not going to surrender the ball, but we don't even have to have that conversation.
Exactly. Smalls goes wide open to Kendrick Payne for 6. And the Lunkers expand their lead 39-32, just under 9 minutes to play.
It's kind of tough for that Woo defense, always kind of be putting themselves in a bad spot with field position. As the Lunkers now line up to take a 2-point attempt.
I will say PAT attempts this season, they're not automatic like
they sure are
kicking.
not.
You have to work for them. As Smalls to the far side fires across, tipped, incomplete.
Great defensive play there. A lot of traffic over in that near corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Chris Scruggs wanted a face mask penalty. He's not going to get it. And with 8:03 to go, fourth quarter, Lunkers take a lead 39-32. We'll take a timeout and be back with more fourth quarter action from the Hippodrome. This is Arena League Football on YouTube.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
In football, the goal is to avoid collisions, but on the road, sometimes collisions are unavoidable. When your car takes a hit, don't throw in the towel. Turn to Iowa Auto Rebuilders. With our full service facility and excellent workmanship, you'll receive high-quality auto repairs and a hassle-free experience. Visit our website at iowaautorebuilders.com to learn more. Get back on the road looking and feeling like a winner with Iowa Auto Rebuilders, where collision meets precision.
Back at the Hippodrome, throw-off duties from Jalen Jones, and we're going to get a ceiling penalty. I don't know what we kind of call that officially.
I think ceiling penalty kind of fits.
That I think we'll call it that. A ceiling penalty against the Ozarks. That's going to be their first one of the night.
Yep.
And it's going to give good field position for the Woo up at midfield.
Yeah, I mean, another opportunity here for the Woo offense to take advantage of some good field position. See if they can close the gap here or get this thing tied up with just about 8 minutes to go here in the final period.
If you're just joining us, it's been a little bit of a back and forth tonight. The Lunkers led this game at one point 20-6, but the Woo offense has started to kind of get into more of a groove as the season has gone on. They tied the game at 26 all and pulled within 1 point at 33-32 before the Lunkers scored on their last possession. Trying to get back in again. Wide open reception by Justin Brown into Lunkers territory down at the 15-yard line.
Once again, just kind of found a hole in the zone there, sat down and waited for the ball to get there.
Stop made by Brock Carter.
Great first play, though, of the possession for the Iowa Woo. Get ahead of the chains and keep this thing moving.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Goulburn lined up in the quarterback position with the newcomer Hobdy in the backfield. Pitches back to Hobdy. He can run and throw, and he's going to run wide open and towards the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Iowa. Giving a wave to the Woo girls with a little bit of a smile on his face.
Nice little thumbs up there after the fact. Gives the fan the ball. Here we get another look at that as Hobby takes the pitch back from Goldberg here, all the way back at around midfield, behind midfield. Once again, just makes one man miss, had some really great blocking down the field from his wideouts, was able to waltz right into the end zone for a touchdown.
Iowa's going to go for one here. Lobs it towards the end zone, tipped up in the air. Ball fought over and falls incomplete. Justin Brown almost brought it down, but it was knocked out of his hands.
4 guys there in the corner of the end zone fighting over that ball.
Yeah, 2 Lunkers, 2 Woo players, just battling for it like a piñata almost.
That was tough.
An excellent play. Both sides trying to wrangle that ball in. So we reached the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter. The Lunkers still lead at 39-38. But it feels like one play that potentially, a fumble or a turnover on downs, if you can flip Iowa's way, they might be able to grab the lead and run out the clock.
Exactly. Yep. Let's see if we can get a clean throw off here. Give the defense a little bit better field position to work with.
Looks like it's Goulburn again. So that one gets downfield more, but it goes out of bounds at about the 5-yard line, so it'll be another midfield start for Ozarks. Three timeouts remaining for the Lunkers, 2 for the Woo. Both 5 minutes and change to go in this Saturday night action. Remember, tomorrow's game, the Harbor Monsters and the Goats here on the Arena League on YouTube to wrap up Week 4 action. The Goats, the only undefeated team left in the league at 3-0, the league's highest scoring offense at nearly 75 points a game.
It's really impressive considering we've only had about half of that here. Both of these teams combined hitting that point total.
Duluth and Ozarks both at 1-1. The Woo in fourth as we get a nice defensive stop by the Woo. Raj Lewis.
Big time tackle there. Had a little bit of space if he could have continued to bounce outside there, but sure-handed tackle there for the Woo defense.
Well, slight loss of about a yard. This is the time for your defense to stand tall in the fourth quarter. It's now. Iowa might not get another opportunity. Remember, the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning, and incomplete passes within 2 minutes will also stop the clock. Otherwise, it'll be a continuous clock.
The Lunkers taking their time here, working the play clock all the way down to 4 seconds before a snap.
And avoids the sack. Smalls threw it as he was going down. Falls incomplete and avoids the big loss of yards, so bring up 3rd and 11 with 3:45 to go in regulation.
Once again, we'll not expect to see a snap here from the Lunkers until that play clock winds way down.
Continuing to roll 12, 11, 10. Taking their sweet time, burning that clock away, trying to preserve a 1-point lead. Smalls backpedaling, lobs it over to a wide open Payne for the touchdown. And the Lunkers cross the 40-point threshold tonight, retake a 7-point lead, 3:05 to go. And the Woo are going to have to do a little bit of work here on their next possession.
Definitely are. Their offense is going to have to get going and get going quickly. As we take another look here at that scoring play for the Lunkers. Had a little bit of a pressure there from the quarterback and was able to just find a wide open receiver who steps into the end zone for the Lunkers touchdown.
That's Small's second passing touchdown of the half and his second straight to Payne.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Still a chance for the Woo to tie this game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
That's right. They just got to stay calm, understand where they're at situationally. Just take it one play at a time. Take what the defense is going to give them here. Don't have to get it all back in one play.
Well, Andy, I will say, no matter how tonight ends, obviously we want to see it in a victory, but a fun night here at the Hippodrome. Have to say, probably the game of the year so far for the Woo.
Definitely has been. Looks like they've made a lot of improvements on both sides of the ball. Defense has stepped up, made some plays. Offense has really gotten their momentum going here at times. So a lot of positives to take away from this thing regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, some great plays, especially for some newcomers tonight. Kobe Martin, Dominic Hobdy, Kyler Henson. A few nice plays from Elijah Pugh as well. But they still got a shot here. 2 minutes to go, trailing 46-38. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. The clock will stop on all incomplete passes. Otherwise, it will be a running clock for the final 120 seconds as Payne will have the throw-off honors from the west end zone to east. As Henson is back in the east side of the field. That one's going to hit a light, and we got some dust flying off that light fixture.
Draws a quick flag there.
It does. So Iowa will get the ball at midfield. Not a bad way to start a drive.
Definitely
with a penalty.
Take advantage of that one if you're the Woo offense here.
For sure. And that dust reminds me, the Hippodrome here on the historic Cattle Congress grounds in Waterloo. This place opened back in 1919. That's a long time ago, Andy.
That is. Yeah, sure is.
It's obviously gone through multiple renovations. The USHL's Waterloo Blackhawks have played here, farm shows, I think monster trucks, roller derby. You name it, it's been played in this building.
It's pretty impressive when you think about the history of this building and everything that's gone through it.
Woodrow Wilson was president back then, man. It's a long time ago. Deep pass downfield, intercepted. The first takeaway of the night on defense. Brock Carter takes it away at about the 6 or 7 yard line. 10 seconds come off the clock, and the Lunkers are going to take over. So not what you were hoping there on your first play from offense.
Definitely not. Looked like they were trying to get it all back in one play. Just a little bit of an underthrown ball there.
They're going to rule Carter down at the Lunkers about the 20-yard line, it looks like, just beyond that. Iowa still with 2 timeouts. If they can get a stop, and then they'd have to work really quick, potentially.
Yep.
But as we saw in their last possession where they scored, they took their time. They burned a lot of clock and wanted to put Iowa into a pressure situation if they have to score. But now if you're Iowa, you got to stop them.
Defense has forced a fumble in the first half, so.
And a nice little play there by Rog Lewis, tripping up the ball carrier Bertelsmeyer. Iowa's going to burn that first of their 2 timeouts, a minute 43 to go in regulation. Brings up second and about 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a loss.
A little bit there. Once again, just kind of take it one play at a time.
We're going to run to a quick commercial here, minute 43 to go. 2nd and 10 coming up after this. This is the Arena League on YouTube.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Whether you're looking to gather with friends or need a great location for a company party or event, Maple Lanes is the place. You're sure to have fun with bowling, pool, pinball, and other party games. Who says team building can't be fun? Challenge your staff to volleyball or let us set up the bags court for you. King.
2nd and 11 for the Ozarks. A minute 43 to go in regulation. Ozarks up by 8. Rush, the ball carrier, cuts back to the left. Up against the wall. We got a flag flying in.
All the way back from the end zone, flag came flying.
Looks like we're going to get holding. The initial call looks like to be holding against the Lunkers.
That official has quite the arm.
You saw that come all the way from the end zone?
Yeah.
That's impressive. So we'll back the Lunkers up.
Stops the clock as well.
Again, Iowa will be up at Duluth next Saturday, their final game before their bye week over the 4th of July holiday. Meanwhile, the Lunkers, they'll stay on the road, but they're going to be back in their home state in the Show Me State against their in-state rival, the Kansas City Goats.
That'll be an interesting matchup for them. Goats being the only undefeated team left in the league.
For sure. We'll see again Kansas City taking on Duluth tomorrow in a Sunday matchup. So the penalty, we're going to back the Lunkers all the way up to their own 15, minute 33 to go. Wu trailing by 7. Pitch back to Rush. Scrambling, trying to escape. He's going to get all the way into Iowa territory. Looked like he was about to get trapped back at his own 5-yard line, but dodges a couple defenders into Iowa territory, and he's got a first down.
Tough play for the Woo there. It looked like they had him wrapped up a couple different times on that scramble. Just able to squeeze out of those tackles and just make his way down the field for a first down for the Lunkers.
So they did stop the clock briefly there to get the chains downfield. And now we're going to get another stoppage as Iowa's going to burn their final time out of the game with 1:19 remaining. We're going to take one more commercial break. We'll be right back on the Arena League Network on YouTube.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Cedar Valley Sportsplex is senior focused. Take a class or work out on your own. We have activities for any age or skill level. Bring in your insurance card to see if you qualify for a free senior membership. Check out cvsportsplex.org to learn more.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
1 minute, 19 seconds to go in this one. The Lunkers leading it by 8. And with excellent field position, Andy, it looks like the Woo are going to have to make an excellent stop here. But also appears, no, they're not going to go into victory formation just yet.
That 25-second play clock kind of extends the game a little bit more in terms of number of plays you have to run to wind the clock down.
It does. Carson Walters makes the stop there. Iowa out of timeouts with a minute remaining in regulation. It's a nice loss of yardage there, 2nd and 12.
The clock continues to run all the way down to 45 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like the Lunkers, they might be able to run this clock out, and it does appear they're going to get into victory formation here with Smalls under center.
They call timeout right before the play clock expires.
But they're going to use one of their timeouts. And they will with 33 seconds remaining. We take another commercial break, and we'll be back here on the Arena League Network on YouTube.
Oh, son of a...
Odell Collision. We fix all your...
Final 33 seconds of this one here tonight at the Hippodrome as the Lunkers are going to line up in victory formation. Oh, not quite. They're going to run one more play. It's going to be Matt Rush scrambling into the backfield, looking. He's going to throw it. It's going to be intercepted. The Woo not quite dead yet.
17 seconds left, and they will get the ball back.
Now Rush just trying to burn some clock there. And Carson Walters making his team debut. He brings it all the way back, and You know, Iowa doesn't have any timeouts left, but they do just get into Lunkers territory. They might have time for one, potentially if they're lucky, 2 plays here.
Yeah, as we're taking another look at that, he was just tracking the eyes of the quarterback the whole time. Stepped up and made a play.
Just when you think this game is over.
New life.
New life and a wild twist. Hobdy takes the snap. He's going to look. Scrambles to the far side, directing traffic. Pass incomplete, intended for Jamal Couch. With 10.7 ticks remaining. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Some of the Lunkers players feeling like more than 7 seconds expired on that play.
Definitely feels like an eternity. Hobdy was dancing back there looking for options, and Couch was his best option, but it fell incomplete. 2nd and 10, takes the snap. He's going to heave it down towards the end zone. Incomplete as it falls off the hand of Carter.
That quick shot, though, gives the Woo one more play here with 5.5 seconds remaining.
It does, but it also feels like the Lunkers are spreading their defense out.
In the end zone exclusively.
Yeah, they know it's like you can tackle them even an inch short. Just keep them out of the end zone, because a score and a good 2-point conversion could tie this game up on the final play of regulation. So the first game of week 4 in the Arena League, it appears, comes down to one final play on offense by Iowa.
Let's see what we can get out of this one.
Takes the snap, fires to the end zone, up, tipped around, flag on the play.
Penalty marker in the end zone. Iowa Woo players signaling that it's going to be against the Lunkers. We'll see what the official call is.
0's on the clock. Some of the Lunkers coaching staff upset about that. It will be defensive pass interference with 0.0 left on the scoreboard.
One more untimed play here for the Woo.
How about this? Your second home game of the year, trying to get your first win still. You have a chance to potentially line up a 2-point conversion to tie it. Oh, excuse me, with the play, it's going to be from the 1 yard line.
Let's go, Woo!
The Lunkers are going to burn their first timeout, though. Final timeout, excuse me. Fans suddenly are on their feet.
Expecting a big play here.
Andy, what would you run here?
Yep, so as they're in the huddle discussing their final play here, it'll be an untimed play for the Woo offense. What seems to have been working the best for them lately has been those pitchbacks that have turned into run plays. Hobdy's been able to make that initial defender miss and get downhill and make his way to the end zone a few times today. Seems to be pretty successful for the Woo.
It has been, and we'll obviously get the final stats after this game. But Hobdy, what a game for him in his Arena League debut.
He's almost seemed to take the game over at times.
One untimed down from the 1 yard line. Iowa fans on their feet here at the Hippodrome. The tension is palpable. Kobe Martin lined up at quarterback. Hobdy in the backfield, pitches it back to Hobdy. He's going to scramble to the near side. He's going to look towards the end zone, lobs it up, caught!
Touchdown! Woo!
Daniel Crowell!
Hobdy getting hugs from fans on the sideline.
Another welcome to Iowa moment tonight on an untimed down with the game on the line.
Give themselves a chance here to force overtime with a potential 2-point conversion. So we get another look at this one here. Hobdy takes the pitch back outside the 10-yard line. Scrambles, almost looks like he's going to take it himself. Draws that secondary defender up. Leaves the receiver wide open in the back of the end zone for the score.
Looks like he was doing, Hobdy was doing a little bit of a Naruto run after that throw.
Sure,
I thought, like you said, I thought he was going to carry it in. That play was big. This one even bigger for the tie. As Martin quiets the crowd, takes the snap back to Hobdy. Looks, escapes the tackler. He's going to try and take it. He's going to run for the end zone. He's in! He's in for the 2. We are going to overtime here at the Hippodrome.
Free football, ladies and gentlemen.
Getting your money's worth tonight here in Waterloo, ladies and gentlemen.
The Lunkers cannot believe it. Body language, hands on the hips. They do not know what just happened.
46-46 with zeros on the clock. Dog piles in the end zone. We're stunned.
This is incredible.
And to think this all started by a fumble.
This all started with an interception by the Iowa Woo with 17 seconds remaining.
I was just about to get to that. I hate to say it, though, the Woo were basically for dead at that point.
Yeah, there was no need to throw that ball if you're the Lunkers.
Could have gone down. Honestly, they could have taken victory formation. I was a little surprised.
He had scrambled out. There was less than 25 seconds left on the game clock. Could have just gone down, taken the loss of yardage, taken a knee, and gotten out of here with a win. Tried to do too much, and the Woo taking advantage.
Now I believe we are about to witness something we have not yet seen in the Arena League this year. I don't think there has not been an overtime game yet in the first 4 weeks of this new league.
Woo players getting the fans into it here as we get set to start this overtime period.
As the coaches are meeting with the officials, presumably to discuss either overtime rules, or I think the Lunkers are a little upset about maybe that last 2-point attempt. But you mentioned, Andy, the body language difference between the two teams. The Woo up on excitement, but some dejection from the Lunkers there.
They had a chance to get out of here with a win in regulation. Mindset for them is completely different now for the Woo.
I was going to say, now how do you approach this if you're coming into overtime, because you have to put that behind you now.
Yeah, you have to be able to move on, short-term memory if you're the Lunkers, and get back to that next play. If you're the Iowa Woo, you're trying to keep that momentum rolling.
I'm not going to lie, I think there's a little bit of confusion between both teams, because it does appear we're about to play our first overtime game in the history of the Arena League. Just making sure the rules are discussed properly.
I want to make sure both teams are on the same page here.
Exactly. Fans are still pretty fired up in here.
Oh, yeah.
A number have left. It is getting a little late here tonight. But it's a Saturday night. You got free football lined up here.
Can't beat that.
And it looks like the Lunkers are going to get first crack here in overtime. They'll be operating
from midfield.
From midfield right to left towards the west end zone.
See if that Iowa Woo defense can make another big play here.
Yes, we're not quite sure if Iowa will get a possession of their own. High pass towards the end zone, intercepted!
Picked off in the end zone.
A huge play by Chris Herring. And has just shifted the momentum for the Woo back in their favor after the game-tying 2-point conversion.
Here we're about to get another look at that big defensive play there by the Woo. Quarterback for the Lunkers takes a snap and rolls out, trying to find an open receiver down the field. Tries to force that deep ball in there. Wu defender high points that ball, goes up and makes a play.
Yeah, it looked like he underthrew Matt Rush, the intended receiver, there a little bit.
Great job by the Wu defender there of looking back, finding the ball, and going up and making the play.
All the momentum on Iowa's side as they get the ball here in overtime after the interception.
They will take over at midfield here.
They will also operate from right to left towards the west end zone, similar to college overtime rules.
Both teams going towards that same end zone.
So we think here if Iowa scores, it could end the game. Martin takes the snap. Back to Goulbourne. Back over to Martin. Throws it incomplete down at his feet.
It's really unfortunate there. The middle of the field was wide open. Potentially could have been a huge gain there for the Wu.
For sure. Brings up 2nd and 10. Again, untimed overtime period. Thankfully, you didn't lose any yardage on that with a sack.
That was the big thing right there. Maintain your field position. Live to play another down.
Fans starting the long cheer of woos as Martin takes the snap. Back over to Hobdy, runs with his legs and gets thrown down inside the 20.
Solid pickup there on 2nd down. Gets the offense back into that positive rhythm. Bringing up a 3rd and short.
3rd and short, about 3rd and 2 or 3. You gotta love what the Iowa run game has done here late tonight.
They really have. They've established that run game. It's worked really well for them over the course of the game. Credit to them and their coaching staff for not going away from it.
Hobdy lined up behind Martin, looking, points downfield, is gonna carry it with his legs. He's gonna get the first down.
Carried that Lunker defender with him for 2 or 3 yards to pick that first down up. Really tough run there from Hobdy.
Jalen Jones, and it looks like Hobdy is a little shaken up on that play. Like I said, he had to drag Jones down with him, who's done mostly throw-off duties here tonight.
Not sure if he landed on the ball.
Does appear to be walking off under his own power, thankfully.
Looks like he's trying to catch his breath. Makes you wonder if he just got the wind knocked out of him there.
Yeah. And that's not fun, especially if you have the ball underneath you and you'll fall on top of it.
Does not feel good.
Iowa will have it 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. And if you're just joining us, the Wu storming back in the final 17 seconds with a touchdown following an interception and a game-tying 2-point conversion.
On an untimed down.
On an untimed down from the 1. Lunkers threw an interception on their first overtime possession. Iowa can win it with a touchdown on this possession. Martin with Goulbourne in the backfield. Looked like he wanted to run it, but he couldn't. Remember, quarterbacks in this league whoever lines up in the quarterback position cannot run the ball past the line of scrimmage. So your natural instinct when you play regular college football is just take it yourself.
Take off and go make a play. He had to remember he could not do that in this situation.
Exactly. The good news, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
Didn't lose any yardage.
No loss of yardage. Once again, you just live to play another down.
Hobdy back into the game after appearing to get the wind knocked out of him. 2nd and 10, flips back to Hobdy. Scrambles to his right, tripped up at the knees for a loss back at the 15.
Definitely still does not look like he's 100% after that previous hit.
It's a little slow as he walks back towards the middle of the huddle. 46-46, bringing up a 3rd and 13 for Iowa. Play clock running. Oscar Scott under center. This time Hobdy's going to line up at quarterback with Martin in the backfield. Fakes the pitch to Martin.
Hit as he throws.
Is attempting to throw to Henson, but it's picked off in the end zone by Jalen Jones. Might have taken a hit there as he was throwing that one.
He did. You could tell that really affected that throw. He knew he wanted to go to down the field. Just could not get enough on that throw as he was hit.
Well, Andy, it looks like we get double overtime here.
More free football.
More free football indeed. Almost 9:30 Central here on a Saturday night in Waterloo, and fans have gotten their money's worth here at the Hippodrome.
They sure have. This has been really entertaining football going on here tonight. Going into this second overtime now, it looks like each team will have a chance to convert a 2-point conversion.
I believe that might just be on after touchdowns now. Like you might be required to go for the 2 after the touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are lining up right around midfield again.
First overtime game in league history. Has lived up to the hype. Again, Ozarks won the first meeting between these two teams back in week 1 earlier this month down in Springfield, 69-40. And this is the first time Iowa's held a team under 50 points so far.
Yeah, like I said earlier, their defense has really stepped up today, made plays when they had to.
Offense playing a lot better these last 2 weeks. They broke Iowa, I believe, broke 50 points last week for the first time. Currently at 46. So like college football overtime rules, this time Iowa will start the second overtime with possession.
From midfield here.
Kobe Martin in the backfield at quarterback. Wiping his right hand. Oh, takes the snap to Pierce. He's going to carry it. Flip it back over to Pierce. Field is wide open. So he's going to get tackled just inside the 10, inside the Miller Lite red zone. First and goal for the Woo. They're in business.
They are. They sure are, Joel. That play has been there all day for the Woo. Talk about a timely way of picking that up here in overtime. Take another look at it. Quarterback draws 2 defenders, leaves that quarterback position wide open in the middle of the field, able to pick up a first down.
Just a little shot put throw, and just green turf as far as you can see. First and goal. Pierce takes the snap over to Martin. Martin's going to run for the corner.
Inside the 5.
He is going to get just inside the 5. Again, he's tackled up against the wall. And they're going to put the ball down second and goal at about the 2-yard line. Again, Iowa scored the game time. What would be the touchdown that set up the game tying 2-point conversion at the end of regulation from 1.
Exactly.
So you almost have to imagine a run is coming here.
You have to think so if you're the Lunkers. Got to play your position, stick to your assignments, and not get caught looking elsewhere.
Beauty of Arena League defenses, you can line up however you like. Snap to Pierce, handoff to Martin. It's going to be stopped and taken back for about a 2-yard loss.
Tried to go right up the middle there, ran right into the teeth of that defense. Was unable to make a defender miss.
Third and goal from the 4.5-yard line. Play clock running. Untimed double overtime here in the Hippodrome. Pierce lined up at quarterback with Martin behind him. Snap to Pierce. Back to Martin. Martin's going to run to the near side. Lob it over to Oscar Scott. Loses it. Ball's on the ground. And we're going to wait for what we're calling here.
Incomplete pass.
We are going to call an incomplete pass as Kobe Martin
shaken up on the play.
Yeah, shaken up on the near side of the field. I believe the officials did rule that as an incomplete pass.
They did, yep.
Number of Lunkers players are already starting to go down towards the other end of the field. But they will bring it back. I was going to lose some yardage on that play.
Definitely, yep.
As it'll bring up 4th and goal. Officials still conversing about that previous play. Both
almost looked like
staffs, yeah.
Scott was trying to tip that ball back to one of his Iowa Woo teammates. but was unable to complete that play. Ball hit the turf. Not sure what the Lunkers coaching staff is arguing here.
Cam Bruffett pleading his case. Not sure what obviously he's trying to get the ball back in his team's favor. But the Lunkers, of course, would have to score then. Again, if Iowa does not score on this possession, the Lunkers would get it, and if they would score, the game would be over.
Correct. Now the coaching staffs are discussing things.
Yeah. Officiating crew still conversing. Coach Zimmerman for Iowa speaking with, appears to be one of the assistant coaches for the Lunkers. The Iowa offense is still on the field, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it will bring up, I believe, 4th down from just outside the 10-yard line.
I would notice here that the down marker is still inside the red zone, but the distance to goal markers are all the way back at midfield. So I think there's still some confusion among that. Of course, they could just be sitting back there because it's a
goal-to-go
situation. Exactly. They might have also just been discussing ball placement, which it looks like Iowa will retain possession on an incomplete pass, but it's going to back them all the way up to the 15.
Not necessarily a bad thing with a little bit more room to operate. Gives the receivers a little bit more time to separate themselves.
So the announcement made by PA announcer J.R. Tishy makes it official. It is an incomplete pass and brings up 4th and goal from the 15 for the Woo. Scott at center. Martin in at QB. He's going to throw it, lob it up towards the end zone. Incomplete. Jamal Couch was the lone receiver, but pass was broken up by Craig Travis, the linebacker.
It's again time for that Woo defense to step up and try and make another play. Keep their hopes alive here.
Exactly. So the Lunkers will get possession at midfield, marching towards the west end zone. If they do score on this possession, the game will end.
Yep.
But if not, would you want triple overtime?
Of course. You always want that chance to try and get that win.
Every fan on the edge of their seats, and some of them, that have box suites at field level, they're hanging on the walls on every play.
They sure are.
Game of the year for the Woo so far.
Definitely is.
Regardless of outcome.
Both sides of the ball.
So here we go.
Really well.
Long carry by Rush. He's going to pick up first down yardage at about the 11 or 12-yard line. Just ran up the far side of the field, virtually untouched.
Taking a page out of the Iowa Woo playbook there. That's something that has worked really well for the Woo offense.
It feels like this game, it largely has become a run game.
It sure has.
Pass when you need to, but obviously you don't have a clock to worry about.
Definitely. That plays a huge role in a lot of those decisions.
Especially in a short field. Smalls takes the snap. Holds it. Fires to the end zone.
Touchdown.
Caught by Kendrick Payne, and that's going to end the game here tonight as the Lunkers are going to win it in double overtime on a walk-off touchdown from Smalls to Payne. With the final score 52-46 here tonight at the Hippodrome. But Andy, the Woo come up just a little bit short, but my goodness, what a ball game.
They put up a heck of a fight here tonight. Definitely going to be disappointed that they came out with the short end of the stick there, but a lot of positives to take away from this performance tonight on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, some great quarterback play from the newcomers in Kobe Martin and Dominic Hobby. Some great defensive plays. A thrilling way to the end of regulation, but the Woo unfortunately will fall to 0-4 in a big home loss here tonight, 52-46 in double overtime. The Lunkers, meanwhile, will improve to 2-1, their second straight win. And they've taken 2 in a row so far this year against the Woo, 1 down in Springfield, and now 1
on
here
the return trip
in Waterloo. Woo players head back to their locker room. Number of fans giving them a standing ovation. Yes. Like you said, a tough loss here tonight, but a lot to build on from this one.
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be tough, disappointing knowing that they had a chance to come away with their first one of the year. But again, like I said, both sides of the ball played really well. Just a couple plays here and there, the difference of the game.
As we mentioned earlier, Iowa will be at Duluth next Saturday, June 29th. That's a 7:05 kickoff against the Harbor Monsters. That'll be the first meeting of the season to see what our friends from the northern part of Minnesota have to see. A lot of great plays here tonight from both sides, and we're going to take a look at the Grid Lounge play of the game. Plenty of great options from tonight's game, whether it be on the ground or through the air.
Definitely a lot to pick from here. It looks like it's a pass from.
Yeah, it was a pass. Oh, we're going to play that one again. It's a wrong pass. Excuse us.
Like we said, we had a few options tonight.
We did. You know, both sides of the ball had some great options.
Yep. So as we take another look at that Grid Lounge play of the game here. As we take a look here now. Our producers above us taking a quick second to get everything up. Well, while we got a second, we do want to thank them for an outstanding job tonight. You know, yes.
Us, you and I doing our first broadcast here together. We had a blast.
Absolutely, great time. Had so much fun being here in the booth with you.
Yeah. All right. So now here we go with the Grid Lounge play of the game, and just the ability to scramble on the touchdown that sent up the game tying 2-point conversion at the end of regulation.
Yep, there from Hobby.
Yeah. So that will do it here tonight from Waterloo, and a great game comes to an end, but the Woo fall up just short in double overtime, 52-46. Our thanks again to our producer crew upstairs for their fantastic work. For you, Andy, for your expert color analyst abilities. We'll be back here on the Arena League Network on YouTube for our next home game about a month's time, July 20th, as the Iowa Woo hosts the Kansas City Goats. July 20th at 7:05 here at the Hippodrome. For Andy Sy and myself, I'm Joel Waters saying thank you for watching and goodbye from the historic Hippodrome on the National Cattle Congress grounds in Waterloo. Again, the final score, Ozarks 52, Iowa 46 in double overtime. This has been a presentation of the Arena League on YouTube.